Deja, and I want to talk about Baddies Gone Wild, episode 3. So, this episode, I will say, was really good. It was a little stagnant because they had like a lot of um like talking scenes. Like there was a house meeting and they talked them to death. I'm like, honestly, I should just make house meetings like 10 minutes max, just 10 minutes max, like filming 10 minutes, but they like chop it up and everything, so it's really just like 5 minutes that we see. But anyway, so the show starts back up with um Lauren and Marie fighting because Lauren said, first of all, you a bully. Second of all, you booed me um while we were on the bus, but this was pre-filming. So that's why they fought. And then Marie says, and that's why your kitty cat stank, your kitty cat. And Lauren and her, they just keep fighting. They just keep fighting. And Lauren, she's like, what? Like what? Lauren is like, girl, you fat and everything. And Leandra, she's like, oh, she's exposing what I said. Even though Mimi Minx didn't say, no, Marie, Marie Minx didn't say like that. Leandra said it, but they're just going back and forth over and over. Dava gets on her knees and smells Lauren's cat. She's like, it don't even stink. Girl, after all that wearing and tearing and being in a pool and everything, it probably got a little, a little heat on it. It is what it is. But they have Xavier, the security guard, in there, and he's just like, they on rocks, they fighting, like this is insane. But Lauren, she just kept getting her. I don't know that she necessarily won, but she stood her ground. I'll say that. She did get the best of Maria a couple times. But anyway, so all the girls are just going around. I will say this episode, Cutter K, and she it seemed like she was just kind of like following Dava just a little bit. I literally didn't even know who she was. I thought she was Baby Tay, but because I was like, who's this girl in this metallic shirt? It was Cutter K. So they go over to the Cutter K, Dava, and Mimi Minks. They go over there to like the wall of the pictures, and they take off Naz's picture, and they're like, "Girl, you got to go." And Cutter K is like wiping Naz's picture in her butt. Just childish, just a little bit, just a tad bit. So then we get to Alana, which I actually like Alana. I really like Alana this episode. We get to Alana, Maloney, um, I think Cutter K, and we get to Alana, Cutter K, Maloney, and somebody else. I forget who it was. But they were just over there and they were talking about the whole Mimi Meeks situation and about Mimi Meeks like apparently being bullied or whatever. And they're basically just saying like, look, me and Maloney, because Alana and Maloney, they were the ones that fought Mimi. They're like, look, we didn't actually bully her or anything. We were literally just fighting a girl. She likes to talk mess, so that's just kind of what happened. And honestly, what I will say, I think Sam was there. When I say Sam did not say anything, like literally Leandra and Nas, the two weakest links, they were literally over there doing stuff. Sam, you need to go. You need to go. Okay, we finna have a house meeting. And you finna go. But Lulu. So the next thing was Lulu, Marie, Minx, and is that her last? Is that her second name? Whatever. And then there's London. They're outside and they're just kind of getting pissed off that people keep saying that Nas was out there. They keep getting pissed that people are saying that they are bullies. And Nas is saying like they're all saying that we Nas said she wanted to come in our room, so she came in our room, and then we took Mimi's name off the door, so we weren't bullying her. And what I will say about that was like they were being some haters. They were being bullies. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. They were being bullies. Like I don't know the definition of being a bully, but they were acting like bullies. Like, oh, we're gonna mess with you. We're gonna take your name off the door. You're gonna have to sleep somewhere else. Like they were like just being real girls, and even then they kind of would have been bullying her, but if they were being real girls, they would be like, "Hey, we don't want you in here. Like, yeah, we took your name off the door. We put it on the living room. We don't want you in here. Nas is gonna be in here. So if you like, you just go where Nas is staying." And Nas was telling her like, "Look, the bed that we have right here is the same bed." Um, but they were really on some bullcrap when they were talking about some, oh well, when she came in there, she had the same energy. Like she was just like, I mean, I don't care where I sleep. I just bought no, she wasn't saying like, honestly, I don't even care where I sleep. I just go sleep where Nas was. She was like, I don't give up where I sleep. Like this is some bullcrap. Like she was peed off because she just got her nose messed up. She just got her nose messed up. She been fighting for like 3 hours on the bus at there on the outside. Like she just been fighting. So of course, when she's like getting confronted again, and she's like worried about her nose, she's just like, look, I don't even care no more. Like, just where am I sleeping? You know what I mean? They're talking about some like first she goes over to the other side where Nas' room was, and then she's told, okay, you got to go over to the other side. Then she goes over to the other side, finds that her name has been moved, and she still don't know where she's supposed to be sleeping. She was pissed off, and it's okay for her to be pissed off, but it really was pissing me off that they're acting like they're not being bullies when they definitely were being bullies. But anyways, so Marie, Mimi, and Dava, they go over there to not Marie. It was just Mimi and Dava. They go in the room with Alana, Maloney, Sam, and Cutter K, and they're just like having a conversation, and they're just like, whatever happened with us basically happened with us. And Marie was just like, yeah, they was being like very weird in that situation when they took my name out the door, and just all that, basically just saying that yes, she was being bullied or whatever. um and Alana was just kind of saying like, look, the stuff that we had, I wasn't bullying her. It was just a situation that happened like in auditions, and we fought. And honestly, I feel like it's getting annoying with the small girls, with like the white girls, with the non-black girls, like, oh, they're just being bullied. Girl, they ain't being bullied. They're on a fighting show. You know what I mean? Like, Baby Tay, you can't say that she's getting bullied because that don't happen for black girls. I'm not trying to be like that, but we gonna be like that. Like, Marie, you talked all that stuff during auditions. You jump somebody, you get whooped. You know what I mean? Like, maybe talk less stuff. Now, if they keep doing it, then that's the situation. But she fought Maloney. They got in on the bus. Then when she got off the bus, she fought Alana a couple times. And then, because of her losing and stuff, the girls, they actually did bully her when, a little bit. But I'm not gonna be like, oh my gosh, they just bully her so bad and I just don't like them, because it's just like, girl, like, it was wrong to do, and they should have just been woman enough to tell her. But at the same time, this is a childish show. Anyway, so Dava and Cutter K, tell you, Cutter K is just following around Dava. She's just following around Dava. I'm like, girl, can you say something? Can you do something? You know what I mean? Her confessional look does look really good. But they start going around. They're like, hey, we're gonna have like a house meeting because David's saying that she wants to present herself as the girl who is in charge of the girls. She want to be in charge of the girls. So she's just going around to everybody. She goes around to like London them. And London's like, girl, I don't want to do no damn house meeting. But they're like, okay, yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and go. So then they cut over to Leandra and Baby Tyson. So not Baby Tay, Baby Tyson. So Baby Tyson and them, like, they're just talking about what Leandra said. Um and Baby Tay is just like, look, I'm just listening, it just kinda is what it is. Leandra tells her like, yeah, I just kinda wanna explain what happened. So G Baby and what's her name? And Lauren, they walk in, and they just are, they seem calm, they seem like they there to go have a good time. I think the producer told them to go in there. But Leandra basically tells Lauren like, we were in a bus, they asked me if I eat cat, I told them I eat cat. They said in prison, people's coochie stank. And I was like, well, people heard coochie, because what she said, honestly, it did kind of make sense. Like, y'all saying girls in prison, it was just, people outside of prison coochie stank. So like, and it was just something to say. So they pressed her on it. She said, Lauren, she said, I was sitting next to you, Lauren, when we was coming in, when the cameras was down, like we weren't filming then, and you stuck a little bit, or I smelled something. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So I feel like it was good for her to tell her how she didn't see that ass whooping. Lets me know. I don't know if she was on like the infirmary unit, if she was like I don't know what they're called, but like one of them, the people like the safe people or whatever, like they hand out snacks, they do like little jobs, like they mop the floors and stuff, like I don't know what she was doing in prison, but she wasn't around the real ones, okay? Because I know that she would have been getting her ass whooped in prison. What were you doing, girl? Like, seriously, what were you doing? Lauren, she literally just reached for her, and she just whooped her ass a couple times, and she was not doing anything. She did pull her hair a little bit, but I'm just like, girl. And then Lauren, she literally ain't got no clothes on. She literally reaches down in her cat, puts it to her nose, and she's like, "Do it stank right now?" Honestly, I would have said no too, because Leandra said no. You just whoop my ass. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say yes or no, whatever you want me to say, because you just whooped my ass. Now, me personally, no, but for her, yeah. I'm just like, girl, first of all, her digging her coochie and putting your face is disrespect. Girl, you should have slapped her hand and punched her in the face. Not trying to be like that, but honestly, that's what she should have did. But anyway, so Leandra, she leaves. G Baby's just shocked. She's just like, why would you say that her coochie stank? And also, why would you tell her that her coochie stank? Like, girl, have you lost it? I fear that you might have lost it. But honestly, it just kind of signified or just solidified for me that she don't need to be here. Leandra, you're not really on nothing, and we don't need no cute girls that just don't want to fight. But anyways, Dava and Cutter, they come in there and they get all of them and they're like, "Hey, we finna have a house meeting." So everybody goes to the house meeting, and Leandra was walking with them, but Leandra was not there. Like she eventually caught up or whatever, but everybody's just looking at her like, "Girl, what's going on?" So anyways, they get into that little house meeting, and everybody got on loose shirts. So I tell you, these bitches been fighting. They have been fighting, fighting down. Okay. Um. So it was so much going on in the scene. So Leandra comes in, and they're like, "Girl, you can sit over here. You ain't gonna stand up over there. The girl ain't gonna get you." So Leandra, she just explains like what happened. Like, yeah, I fought Lauren. She explains like what she said. They're really just pressing her about the whole situation. Then you got Maloney across from Lauren, and Maloney is like, "You just blah blah blah." I'm gonna be honest. Maloney was popping her stuff, and she was just like, "This is not fair. Like, why y'all, you know, um." not wanting to give everybody everything. Like some people are fighting, some people are not. It's just not fair. I think for specifically Mimi, Nas, and Leandra, why is it possible that we all on the chopping block and we can all fight and do all this other kind of stuff, but y'all cannot? It's weird, it's whack. So I do understand what she was saying. I just feel like she should have communicated that like we don't have no safety here. We don't have, people that can sit on the sidelines and like, oh well they're so sweet and they're so this, so sweet, this. No, if you are here, you're gonna get up and you're gonna fight if somebody got an issue with you. And I feel like that's fair. I'm getting beat up and bruised and stuff, but this little girl who just got out of prison, 19 months in prison. Okay, Marie Minks, she got out of prison. Y'all ain't you let her duck no smoke. It's not fair. I hate when they do that. I especially hate when they do that for non-black girls. It really gets on my nerves because the black girls got to be the entertainment. They got to be jumping around there like goddamn monkeys fighting and stuff. But then y'all get these non-black girls on there and they want to be prissy and cute, and I don't do that, and I don't do that. They want to be Scotty. They want to be the girl from the last episode. I mean the last season. I think her name was like Raven or something. And it's like, oh, I don't fight. I don't do that. No, you do that. You can't come on here with a backstory that since you was in prison for 19 months, 2 months before you got casted, and say that you don't fight. That don't work like that. But anyway, so she just explaining herself. Marie is just like, girl, I wouldn't tell nobody that. Like, I wouldn't do that. So after that, London, they call her Becky, but Becky, London, Becky, whatever her name is. London Bridge is falling down. London was basically just trying to explain that they were not being bullies again, and I'm just like, yeah, well, y'all actually were being bullies. Y'all actually were being bullies to this girl Mimi. But I just feel like I think there's a difference between being a hater and being a bully. Um, and they was doing that. So, anyways, there's just saying like as London is explaining how her, Marie, and Nas were not being bullies. G Baby, she kind of like gets up and she's just like, you know what, like. So Marie, I mean, it's not Marie, London. She's just like, when we were all outside a minute ago, we asked you if we were being bullies and you said no, but now we're around this whole group and you're saying yes. What is that about? You know what I mean? So London is just like, that's whack. And G Baby, she's like standing up. Eventually they fight. They just fight. But G Baby lost it. She lost that fight. I'm trying to go in order of like what the issues are because it's like all over the place and they just keep switching. But G Baby lost that fight. She should have never fought. She fought her like 5 times. So before they were like in the midst of that or whatever, um Dava asks Nas a question, and Nas is just like, Dava is just like, I would never fight you. And Maria's like, I mean Maloney is just like, wait, you would never fight her? Why is it that she can't? And I understand what she's saying. Like, why is it like Maloney was being annoying and she was like doing a lot. She was doing a lot, but her questions were actually valid. Why is it that some girls have to fight and some girls don't have to fight? I wish that she would have been like a different way, just like, hey. I'm not doing this. If I'm, cause she was telling them like, wait, so if she is safe and you ain't gonna fight her, then you ain't gonna fight me either. You know, I understand it. Like nobody should be safe. I don't care. This just European German girl that don't want to be a white girl. She want to be a white girl. She gonna have to get her ass up there and fight. So, I don't know why, but Baby Tyson gets Naz's hand up. I mean, she picks her up. I mean, she grabs her hand and she like, they stand in the middle and they barking like a dog. They rah 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 rah. And then after that, they pump Mimi head up and they get Mimi, put a battery on her back, and her and Nas they fight like 2 rounds. Neither one of them win. Mimi is like, I did my big one. I did my biggest one. Like I really did that. I did it. I'm on that. I'm on that. You know, it was a better fight when you was getting your ass toe. So Maloney and um Lauren, they start fighting because Maloney was wrong because she was basically trying to press Leandra, just like this girl said that she slapped you and she whooped your ass when you was in that room, and why are you not doing nothing? Like what are you talking, like why is you letting this girl sit over here and say that she whoops you? And Leandra's just sitting there, and Lauren is like, girl, I'm not gonna fight her again. It doesn't matter if she wants to fight me. I'm not gonna fight her because I know I can whoop her. We were on that bed. I was fighting her, and she literally did nothing. I'm not gonna fight her again. I understand it. I get it. So Maloney and Lauren fight. Lauren won, obviously. Maloney, she's talking about some. I'm like a big girl. I'm the same size as her. Girl, you like height wise, but like weight class, your ass is bigger than most of them. You know what I mean? Like your ass has its own zip code. So I'm like, no, girl. Like, are you a bigger like height? I don't know when you box if they go by height or if they go by weight, but girl, you are about in the same weight class. Like, let's stop doing that. So they do this montage of everybody getting ready. Lauren is such a pretty girl, but I really wish that she had took the time to like get herself ready because just like with her and Rolly, that bare face look, it just doesn't look good. Like they have too many like marks on their face and stuff, so it just don't look good. I'll say Lulu, she did look really really good. She looked really cute. Um, she was about the only one that I'll say just like looks really cute. So they're all on the bus. And it's split, obviously. So they put Dava, Lauren, G Baby, Lulu, Sam. Sam ain't saying nothing. And then I think Cutter on one bus, and then they put Marie, London, Alana, Baby Tay, Baby Tyson. I'm gonna keep calling her that. Leandra on the bus, and then Maloney and Baby Tyson. They're talking, and Maloney's kind of just explaining a little bit more about like why she was saying, like basically like Leandra's weak, like you sitting over there getting dogged out by this girl and you're not saying nothing. And Leandra, she's like 2 seats behind her, so I don't think that Maloney knew that she was on there. So her and Baby Tyson, they're just kind of talking about the situation, and then Marie is literally telling Leandra like, "Girl, say something." Like, "Girl, what?" So Marie eventually, I think she just felt bad. She was like, "Hey, she back here," because they just really sucking into. So hey, she back there, and Maloney's like, "Well, good for her, you know." I'm glad she was there to witness it. Nas was on there too. So they're all just talking on the other bus, and what's her name? Um, Lauren, she just basically says again, like, my coochie didn't stink, blah blah blah, whatever. So Marie, she starts talking about like, okay, so they're gonna bring in replacements. Who do you want them to replace, or like, what do you think that they should do with the replacements? And Baby Tyson tells her, if you keep talking about replacements, you're gonna get replaced. And she's like, no, I'm not gonna get replaced. And so London, she says, well, you know what? They need to go ahead and replace anybody who didn't come. And Mimi was the only one who didn't come because she had like a someone in her family had like health problems and they probably were gonna like pass away. So she was just like, I can't go to the club, I can't even boot rally, so I'm just gonna stay home. So when she said whoever didn't come to the club, they gotta go, she was talking about Mimi. So what is it called? Baby Tyson, she's just like, why do y'all keep coming for Mimi? Like, what's the issue? And Alana's just like, no, there ain't nobody just coming for Mimi. Ain't nobody just bullying Mimi. Mimi be doing what she be doing. Like let's be for real. So Baby Tyson and Alana, they just get into it. They stand up, and Alana, she's like, "Girl, I'm beat you up. I'm beat you up." She's like, "You smell like hot dog water." When I tell you hot dog water, must have activated the liquor in her brain. The Natalie Nunn and Lemmy MK Ultra project must have been working. That must have been her code word. Because when I tell you she reached over there, I don't know who won or lost. I think that because of the way, because they were on a bus, like she was able to get Alana just a little bit, but I don't think she necessarily won because it looked like Alana was really eating those hits. But Alana was like, "I'm gonna beat you up." She kind of reminds me of Jade. I think that's why I like her. It's just like the very nonchalant, smooth talking. It's just like I don't care what you was able to do. I'm gonna beat you up. But Milani is literally in the middle of them. She in the middle of them and two big ass security guards. So she is just smushed. And they put their wigs back on. I'm gonna really beat you up. She was like, today is your worst dressed day. Like she was just saying so much. I literally can't even get all of it. But she was just like, she was just really dogging her out. And Marie was kind of laughing because the stuff was funny. I was like, I had to rewind like 3 times. But that hot dog water comment was insane. And then, Baby Tyson is just kicking her, and she's like, "It don't matter that you kicking me, girl. I'm going to beat you up with my hands. Like that's just the event that's gonna happen. I'm just letting you know." So they eventually get to the club, and it looks like they really did have a good time. Lemmy was there, Natalie was there, Alana. I mean, not Alana, but Leandra is like, "Well, I've been in prison for 19 months, so I don't know none of these songs, but I had a great time." But yeah, that was all that happened. But it looks like once they do get home, either the night that they get home on the next episode, oh, it's finna go down. It's going down for real. But yeah, it was a really good episode. It wasn't a filler episode. I just know that next episode they finna be tagging ass. So I'm really ready for that. But let me know what y'all thought about this episode in the comments. But yeah, a house meeting. Leandra, I want you to go home. I'm so sorry. Mwah, kisses. Sam, you gotta go home. I think she said like 4 words in this episode. Yeah, you gotta go. You gotta go. Nas, I'm kind of teeter tired on Nas because I want to see Nas get her ass whooped one time, one good time, and then she can go. But I feel like Nas, she is giving like a little bit more. Mimi Minks, I want you to stop acting like you being bullied, and if you having like a family emergency, a family issue, then I really want you to go. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I feel like everybody else is carrying their weight. Lulu, you gotta do something else. Makata, makata. You gotta do something else other than say that and say nigga. Cause she can also go too. I feel like she wants to be comedic relief, but you gonna have to go, mamas. Next time, I feel like not people that want camera time, but people that actually want to make a show. That's what they need to do. People who only want to make a show. Like, if you have not fought in at least 12 minutes, you gotta go. Because half them bitches fought before they even got out the sprinters. Half of them fought before, they was even cast. So, they gotta go. But anyways, all right, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.